Welcome to the Nerds Against Normality podcast. I'm Stacey Bowles and I'll be refereeing this match. I'm here with Harry Bowles. He's imitating his hero Mike Tyson by wearing arseless chaps.
And looking good, I have to say.
That's a reference to Tyson and Jake Paul fight, in case you're wondering. And sad news, everybody. Mr. Ben Sheridan got knocked out in the first round, so we couldn't be here. But we have a very special guest joining us, part of the nerd family, Mr. Nathan Broomfield.
Hello there.
Who's pulling no punches. So before we get into this week's review, Ben can't be here today. He sent us a voice note, so I'm just going to play it for all of you now.
Greetings, fellow podcast hosts. As you can tell by my voice, I am dying of the common cold. While I regret that I have not done as many things in my life as I wish I could have, I am content knowing that at least I got to at least 14 episodes of a podcast, which has narrowly beaten Gardener's World at least once in the charts. And now I must leave this mortal coil and pay my regards to the ferryman. I see my children. They're smiling at me.
So he's dead.
So, we're joined by Nathan. Thanks for coming on the podcast.
You're welcome. I'm pleased to be here. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Very excited.
Are
yes,
you?
Yes.
Tell us all about yourself.
Okay, so I am Nathan Broomfield. I have known Harry for about 13 years, I think, about that. Ooh. When I met him when I started at Wetherspoons.
Yeah.
And Stacey, I think I've known you about 12 years, so not long after I started, you started, I think.
Yeah, we were trying to work this out earlier.
Yeah, so I think it's probably about that. There's not much time difference between the both of you.
Okay, so we need to get to know you a little bit better, so we're just going to ask you some questions.
Okay.
What, Nathan, is the nerdiest thing that you're into?
Okay, right. So recently, I'm gonna split this into two answers.
Okay.
Okay, so
Giving and receiving.
No, so I have a tendency to watch TikTok a lot. Okay, so...
Are you a flicker?
Yes.
You look the sort.
So I have a tendency to go through TikTok a lot, but I don't know how this has happened, but for some reason in my algorithm, there is this video series of can you name this train station?
Oh my god!
Bear with me.
And can you?
Stick with me. No.
Surely the sign gives it away.
No. It's just a picture of a train station. I know I don't know any of them, but I'm hoping that I'll just come across what I do know.
One of the five I know.
Yeah, one of the 5 stations I've ever been to. And yeah, Tunbridge has been there, and now I am completely fulfilled. And
has it made an appearance?
Yeah.
Made it.
So no longer have to ever endure going through these train station TikToks anymore.
Does it come up like the end of a Pokemon episode where it's like shadowed out? And like,
who's this train station?
Tunbridge.
It's Pikachu.
Yeah, it's basically it's just a picture of it, and I'm just like, no. But the actual answer to this, what is the nerdiest thing I'm into, is wrestling.
Wrestling?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I'd forgotten that about you.
Yeah.
Oh, would you consider it nerdy now?
That's what I was going to put to you guys. Is is that really nerdy? Because it's still cool. Well, I think.
Are you talking to yourself? Or?
I was just looking in the mirror. From an outside looking in, it's.
I think it's the same sort of thing with gaming. I think in the 90s, if you liked wrestling past a certain age, you were like, oh god, lame. But now wrestling is this multi-billion-dollar franchise.
Going to Netflix. Now.
Yeah, it's huge. I think it's got to be up there with one of the most profitable sports ever, right?
That is.
And I think like gaming in the 90s was like, oh god, you're gaming and you're 14, you fucking nerd. Now, you can't go around someone's house without having a PlayStation or an Xbox or a Switch.
Or a wrestling ring.
Yeah. But I would say that's the nerdiest thing I'm into, because I couldn't really pinpoint anything else, but I wouldn't say it's actually that nerdy because you think of the amount of stadiums, arenas, and everything and merchandise it just sells.
But you liked it when it was.
I liked it when it was really
before
nerdy.
it was cool.
Yeah. I was one of the OGs.
Yeah.
It's difficult for me because I find it difficult to categorise.
Since you retired from wrestling.
Yeah. All those many years ago.
Yeah.
No, I find it difficult to categorise any sport as a nerdy thing.
Chess.
Yeah.
Well, that's quite nerdy. Or esports. I don't know how I feel about that.
It's pretty nerdy.
I think because there's so many eyes on things like esports and I'm not even chess. You think of what's his name, that grandmaster that was all controversial. There was so many eyes on chess. Like I wouldn't say that that's that nerdy anymore because there's so many randomers just watching it because of this one guy that made it famous. Write in the comments who it actually is because I can't. Like nerdy is subjective, isn't it? So like, you can't.
Okay. Who's your favourite wrestler?
Now, that is a hard question. Of all time?
And why is it John Cena?
And it is definitely not John Cena. Of all time is Triple H. Most people would know.
He runs it now, doesn't he?
He basically, he runs the company now because of the whole, controversial Vince McMahon stuff.
Yeah,
That's probably not good to talk about.
He's the one that let them have a fucking documentary.
Yeah.
I
But
know
He
idea
opened that
did
door.
you watch it?
No, I've heard
It's probably
it's a shit
worth.
show.
It's probably worth a watch, even like from not a wrestling fan. It's just like, oh, but it doesn't go into too much detail of the actual things you're probably watching it for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
It's a bit seedy, I hear.
there is some bits in it that are like quite questionable, very questionable. I mean, lawsuit questionable.
I have no
Like
idea what you're talking about.
Basically, Vince McMahon, who is the original owner of WWE, and he had some allegations. These are allegations because he's not actually been found guilty of a lot of seediness and a lot of misconduct towards women and lots of deep, horrible stuff that is, not good. A lot of, and it's not just like one woman, it's a lot of, including the actual wrestlers themselves.
Who knew?
Yeah, I know.
The seedy undertone of wrestling.
Okay, so next question is going to be more film related. It doesn't have to be in order, but what are your top 5 favourite films?
This is actually quite difficult for me because
I've only seen 4 films.
I've never watched a film. No, and they're a bit off the cuff as well, I think. I don't think there would be ones that you would think that would be in anyone's top 5. So, in no particular order, I've gone Warrior with Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy, yeah.
The UFC fighting film. I absolutely love that film. I think it's because it goes so deep on the backstories of both.
They're brothers, aren't they?
But they're brothers. One's about to lose their house because he's broke, and one is doing it for a fallen comrade in the army, trying to pay back some money to his wife, and they have to fight at the end. And it's very heartfelt. It's basically
one's an aggressor and one's a grappler, right?
Yeah. One is going to knock you out in the first round.
Yeah, Tom
Hardy's going to
Hardy's
tap you out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very heartfelt.
I enjoyed it, I've got to say.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those films that I'm just like, I don't know, because obviously I'm the embodiment of a UFC fighter, and I really did sort of like, I saw myself in all of these guys.
You and Tom Hardy very
Yeah,
similar.
we're actually the same person.
Yeah.
I am actually Tom Hardy
Get
from Moose
mistaken all the
Mask.
time.
The other film, I went Leon the Professional.
Oh, the early 90s.
Yeah, with
French.
Jean Reno and
Oh.
Natalie Portman and Gary Oldman.
Okay.
Old man.
Oh, sorry.
I fucking fed up with people missing.
Sorry, Gary Oldman.
I've never seen it.
No,
So-
I haven't seen it.
There's a prerequisite to watching this film. I used to love this film, and I still do, but if I don't feel like I could watch this film now, knowing with everything that's gone on in life and how dodgy it actually looks. So basically, Jean Reno plays Leon, who is a hitman. He is living next door to this family who is killed by, I would say, the mob, but they're actually the police, led by Gary Oldman.
Thank you.
And the daughter of that family is Natalie Portman. So
How old would she be in this?
I would say about 11.
Wow.
11, 12. And bear that age in mind. in regards to this film.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This is why it's a bit dodgy to watch now.
Okay.
And it's... So she basically goes out to the shops and comes back and her whole family has been killed.
Oh.
I hate it when that happens.
Yeah, it's not ideal, is it?
Gotta find a new one.
And basically walks past the apartment and Leon is living at the end. She looks through the door and her family is basically like slaughtered, massacred on the floor, knocks on the door to Leon and she's crying and basically just saying under her breath, help me, let me in. And he lets her in. And the basic premise is a revenge story of him training her to be a hitman.
At 11?
At 11 to kill this
Right.
this mobster. But there's some very, very weird, strange sexual love undertones in this between a man who's quite clearly in his 50s and a man and a woman girl, should I say, who is probably just about to hit teenage.
Prime for the picking.
And why do you like this film?
Because it's not really about that. It's more of like it's just a good revenge film.
Okay.
And it's so hard to explain because I know the actual dodgy undertones of this film. And if you watch it, you'd be like, nods. I knew it. But yeah, it's a strange one. But moving on very quickly.
You've gone for two quite violent films so far. Fighting.
One more nonsense than the other.
One a lot more nonsense. Sticking with the violent film.
Oh my God, okay. Are you alright?
Is this therapy? This isn't the podcast, right? This is therapy.
It's not even recording.
I'm just here to talk.
Yeah.
I've gone law-abiding citizen.
Okay.
Again, I haven't seen it.
No, I've not seen it.
Wow. Okay.
We've got very different choices.
Yeah. I've just gone... It doesn't get any better with the violent films. I'm not going to lie. Some of them are less violent and less noncy.
This one, on the nonce scale? We'll have it. So there's Warrior on one scale, and then there's Leon. Where does this fall?
I'd say in the middle.
In the middle?
Yeah. So, have you not seen it at all?
No.
Okay, so...
Who's in it?
Gerard Butler and Jamie Foxx.
I do.
okay.
No, I haven't
It does
seen
ring
it.
a bell,
But yeah, it does
though,
ring
yeah.
a bell, yeah.
And Cole Meany, I think.
It's literally just come to Netflix, I think. I saw a Netflix thing being like, one of the best films ever is coming to Netflix, and it was this.
Well, it is, because it's on Nathan's list.
That's what they heard. They were like, it's got bloody
He knows.
Nathan's list. Get it on fucking Netflix. I don't care how many zeros it takes. Make it fucking happen.
And I saw none of that money. I feel like I'm picking these violent films and I have to explain a slight premise of them, and they're all violent, and maybe that's bringing a lot of stuff out. This is therapy. So, Gerard Butler's family is killed.
Straight off the rip.
By Natalie Portman.
By Natalie Portman, Leon.
It's a Leon sequel.
Leon 2. And it's another revenge story of him. The premise is that the people that actually do the killing of his family, only one gets convicted of the crime. And it's not the right one.
From the title, Law-Abiding Citizen, it makes it sound like the person who should have got prosecuted doesn't. And then he goes, I'm going to make justice myself.
Yeah.
And he goes on a violent rampage.
And he does that by killing all the people involved in the trial and the cops involved and everything. So yeah, that's...
To be fair, sign me up.
That's one way to do it.
No. I would be shocked if you haven't seen this film. But the other one is Independence Day.
No,
That makes your top
classic.
5.
I love that
Love
film.
it.
What about the sequel?
Didn't know there was one. I actually
block
did.
that one.
But I've never. I think I've seen it, but I will forget it. No, it's just one of those films you can just switch off to, and I just really enjoy it every time I watch it.
Did you watch it as a kid? Because it's a very 90s
Yeah, so I think I remember memories of being at home and we having it on VHS, and I just watched it constantly. Where the tape started to go a little bit funny every time you rewound it back to the start, it would go a bit black and white. So yeah, I think I watched it quite a lot.
The iconic shot. So good over the White House, isn't it? So
it's just like there's just so like Will Smith punching an alien. Honestly.
There's a precursor of what was going to happen.
Obviously, you thought that was Chris Rock.
Yeah. Keep the Earth's name down your damn mouth.
The Oscars was the sequel to.
That was the real sequel. That's fan service.
Yeah, amazing. That's Will Smith at the door.
With Ben.
Ben Affleck.
That's another one on the list.
And the final film I've gone, The Fifth Element.
Yeah.
We watched that the other day.
We did. Yeah, good choice.
Leon the Professional and Fifth Element are directed by the same guy, Luc Besson.
Mm-hmm.
Another one of those films. It's just like a fantasy action film with Bruce Willis. What can go
And
wrong?
Gary Oldman.
And Gary Oldman again.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Resident Evil lady, Mila Jovovich.
Yeah, Mila Jovovich. Yeah, just one of those just fun films that has a sad
The gun
ending. Yeah.
that they have is
Iconic, yeah.
yes, brilliant.
Yeah. I
Does it all.
think back in the day, when I'm watching that film, I always used to go through like the Argos catalogue just to see if I could find that gun because I'd asked for it for Christmas or something like that. But yeah, it doesn't exist.
If anyone listening has that gun and would like to gift it to Nathan, please write
I
it.
will happily take that. I'll give you all my money. Yeah, that's my top 5 films.
Hey, good choices. We'll have to watch some of those.
Maybe not Leon the Professional because I actually do want to stay in this friend circle.
We're going to judge you heavily. Okay, tell us your top 5 TV shows.
All violent.
None of them are violent. Don't worry. None of them are violent.
I can guess one of them on there.
Yeah, you would know it's nice. And you would be right. It is Red Dwarf.
Yeah.
It's 100% on my top 5. Iconic TV show. I can quote and recite most episodes in that series, of any series. It's really quite sad. And that's why I think I might be autistic.
You went to see it recorded live once, didn't you?
I had the opportunity to go and see it
You
recorded
go?
live. No, I couldn't. It was one of the new series. I think it was like season 10. No, season 10 or 11 maybe. I had the opportunity to go
The
and see it.
bad series.
Yeah, so I'm not that
not too
not that fussed that I didn't go and see
The
it.
Coronation Street episode.
That didn't happen. That's not an episode.
That's
that
with
ever
Independence
existed.
Day too.
Yeah, that is the same thing. Yeah, it's in the same universe.
The last series they did was quite good. They brought it back to form, I think.
I think so.
Yeah.
They've had a couple, haven't they? Not long seasons, but they've had literally 8 episodes or whatever. 6 episodes.
Yeah, I liked them. I found that some of the episodes were a bit rushed, like even like towards the end of the episode. They were like, let's just try and fit as much plot in here and then just end it like there. It was a bit funny. I liked them, but can't beat the classic series.
It ended on such a high, which I guess is a good thing, but it... Like,
Are we talking season 8?
Season 8 was just
with Rimmer
fantastic, yeah.
escaping or not dying.
Yeah, they never finished that off.
I think they should have, honestly, left it at that and then I would have been happy. Peep Show is on the list.
I knew that would be there.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Like Harry knows.
For any foreign listeners, that's not a perverted show.
I go into and look through little peepholes and watch people undress.
Oh, okay.
So both your choices so far, Red Dwarf and Peep Show, are 2 British sitcoms.
It doesn't get any better.
Peep Show is ultimate British cringe.
Yeah.
Awkward, relatable.
I would say
it's
so. We've all been in some, maybe not to that deep a situation, but we've been in kind of some situations that both of them have been in, but yeah, we can relate to even some of the stuff they say. Again, another one, British TV show, Black Books.
Yes,
Oh, that's a second appearance.
That's a second appearance.
Wow.
Our last guest picked Black Books. So we'll move on. No, I'm joking.
But yeah, classic. Only 3 seasons. Not actually worldwide known. It's just one of Bill Bailey, Dylan Moran, and Tamsin Gregg. Just about a bookshop that was being run by an Irish alcoholic. His little hairy companion and a psycho alcoholic. What more can you want?
Really underrated show, I think, though. I think not enough people have seen it and heard about it.
That's the only thing going against it, is that it's only 3 seasons. It really could have done with having some more. And it's only 6 episodes per season.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that sometimes helps the magic of the show because there's not much of it. But man, I wish there was more.
And the other one, again, written by the same writer as Black Book's, I think his name's Graham Lynham, is IT Crowd.
Oh, yes. Absolute classic.
Again, quality in every episode, so funny. Just stupid comedy. I just like stupid comedy.
4 seasons?
I think you are right. I think it was 4 and then there was one extended episode. Yeah.
That is such a nerdy show though as well, because if you look in the background, they've got all their like classic board games in their room and lots of...
He always wears a t-shirt that's nerdy.
Yeah, so many references all the time. Love it.
My final show, so I assume you've probably watched it, is Sherlock.
Oh, yeah. Love it.
British.
Yes, Sherlock, just everything about just that series of, I think it was it 3 series or 4? I think it was 4.
Can't remember.
I think from when you just watch it from the start, you just see a bond grow between Watson and Sherlock just by, like, it doesn't even take like half an episode to see them just sort of grow as a companionship type thing and a partnership. And just every sort of villain or situation they're in is just, it's very thriller-esque, isn't it? I would say it's just everything is...
He's a great villain. The
Moriarty.
The actor who plays him is very good.
Hot Priest.
Hot Priest, that's his name.
Oh, from
Fleabag.
Yeah.
Andrew
Scott.
Yeah,
He's fantastic.
Martin Freeman is born to play Watson as well.
Yeah.
And Benedict Cumberbatch, fantastic. A great Sherlock.
Yeah, I think where you do actually, you don't dislike Sherlock from the way he is, but I find that you will always side with Watson in every sort of situation.
Well, he's a selfish prick.
Yeah. So
he's not, you don't dote on him, do you? You never really sympathise with him because he's selfish. He's a results man.
Yeah.
As Watson is human.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I am actually the world's biggest fan of the Sherlock books. And I always talk about the fact that Sherlock in the books is a drug addict and he is a selfish prick and he's just a horrible human to be around, but he's really clever and intelligent.
Yeah.
I think that's what this series does really well.
It shows a human side to even the most darkest, mentally deranged people, like Sherlock is, because he is, as you mentioned, selfish, but he does actually care, even especially about John Watson.
Yeah.
But I love the show. It's fantastic.
Okay, so you've gone from really quite violent films, a bit of light relief with your TV choices. So I'm guessing you're watching them in and around the films when you feel like you're on the edge.
Yeah. When I want to stop killing, I watch
pop
something
Peep Show on.
I'll put a bit of Peep Show on, make me laugh, and I'll forget about my victims.
Good to know.
So next up is the gaming side of you. Obviously, you're an avid gamer. Mm-hmm. How easy was it to whittle down 5 of your favourites?
It was easy to whittle down 4. The 5th one was the hardest one. I had a choice between 2, really. So, controversially, I picked Die Hard Trilogy.
The PS1 then? Oh my god.
I didn't know they did that.
Yeah.
I thought every human being that had a PlayStation had that game.
Yeah. And I loved
I only
every
ever
second
played
of
2. The light gun.
I only played the light gun one
Yeah.
and the third person in Nakatomi Plaza. Couldn't get to grips with the car one because it was the hardest game in the world. Yeah. We were on a time limit and the compass in the top left corner doesn't actually tell you where to go, so you die after 30 seconds every single time.
It's like Crazy Taxi on board.
Yeah. So I never really got to grips with that one.
Did you play it with a controller though? Or a gun? Because I remember playing it with a controller, which was dog shit.
Yeah. So Die Hard 2, which is the airport levels, we played it originally when it came out on the PlayStation 1 with the controller at the start. And then I think we borrowed a light gun off someone and we used that, and it was so much fun. I think that's why it sort of snuck into my top 5, is how much fun I was having with pretending to shoot people. I'm not a psychopath. But yeah, it was just like, I think like my mind was just sort of blown by like the fact that I'm using this plastic gun with a big red button on the side to reload, aiming it at a screen to shoot enemies. I think that was a bit in my own house rather than going to like an arcade or anything like that. The other games are Resident Evil 1.
Over 2.
Yes, but I'm with the precursor that I'm allowed to have Resident Evil 1 and Remake as one game.
Oh, okay.
So the OG one, PlayStation and whatever, was the worst voice acting in the world.
I won't have it.
But the best voice acting in the world. And it's just got a lot of good memories of playing it. Weirdly, I remember watching my mum play it before I'd ever played it.
Well, when it came out, how old would you have been?
I think obviously a couple of years after. I think I was maybe like... So when did it come out? 96?
About that, yeah.
So I would have been 3.
That's when the
I was born to kill.
Yeah, I'd say old enough to use a light gun, mate. You're old enough to take down zombies.
I think that film was based on you and Natalie Portman. It wasn't Natalie, it was Nathan.
I was touched by a hitman.
I knew it.
Yeah, I remember just watching like my mum play that game, and then I vaguely remember scenes in the game where in the tunnels. Do you remember the tunnels? Yeah, where the boulder chases after you. I left the room.
You think about Crash Bandicoot?
No. So the boulders in the tunnel, you walk up to them and you have to walk back and they just chase you. I remember my mum playing it and I had to leave the room so that when the boulder come past, and then I walk back in after the boulder passed.
It's better to be safe.
Yeah. Just in case I actually got killed by a boulder. Yeah, it's just one of those games, and the remake is incredible.
It was the first game, I have to say, where remakes weren't a thing at that point, really. You'd get sequels and you'd get new games over. But I remember seeing on the GameCube, it was getting a glow up, it was getting a remake, and I remember buying the magazines because that was a thing, and they were just blown away by the lighting effects, the fact that they were adding in new bosses. There's new.
It was just
zombies.
like basically dark all the time, like in most rooms, yeah. But whereas the original was just like every room is nicely lit, you can see every enemy, and where other than where the screen changes, you know where every enemy is, and it was just a nice sort of.
It's a top tier game.
Yeah,
I've got to say.
It's incredible. Dark Souls,
OG.
yeah, original. Mm-hmm. I was late to the Dark Souls party, probably about six years after the original came out. And yeah, I remember I was working at Screwfix at the time, and I just started playing it, and then all I wanted to do was play it. And then conveniently, this is when I had my moped, conveniently I had a bike crash.
Quote, I didn't ram it into the wall.
No, I
broke my own leg.
And I was going too fast going around the corner, and I come off and I really hurt my knee, and the bike wasn't in good condition. So I had 2 weeks off. That's a shame, isn't it? Just to play Dark Souls for 2 weeks solid. Best 2 weeks of my life. Fantastic. Yeah, it's in amongst all the From Software fans. You don't like Dark Souls. You've never really.
It's not that I don't like Dark Souls. I've never done one.
Yeah.
But the trouble is with those sort of games, it's not very easy to just pick up and play it.
No, you have to sort of follow
a
path and dedicate a good amount of time just to.
But it was awesome. And when the remake comes out, inevitably comes out, I will probably get it. I am tempted to play Elden Ring.
Mm.
Yeah.
So that Ben can message you and interrupt a quick
No, so I can complete it before Ben. Because he's fucking terrible at video games.
Oh my god! Wow.
Love you, really, dude. If you listen to this,
he's dead by then. Nathan's gone after him.
It's amazing.
He's clobbered him with a light gun.
Ben's already dead.
Yeah.
When he recorded that message, I was already there.
Yeah, the knife to his throat. Now sing the Halo theme. Why? Just do it.
Every one of my victims has to do the Halo theme before they die.
Have you found Master Chief yet? No, but I found his calling card.
So talking of Elden Ring is
okay.
out of all the other games, that is probably my number one of all games.
This is number one.
This is number one. I'll tell you two because you're not going to know what number two is because I haven't mentioned it yet. And out of all the games, and you know me, Harry, that my other game is Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, I was going to say, there'll be a Final Fantasy in there.
Yeah, again, Final Fantasy VII. Iconic.
Are you talking OG? Are you talking...
OG.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's not enough for me to love about the remakes for me to think that that's better than the original Final Fantasy VII. Yet. That's why I think...
You need the third.
I need the third. I need the arc and the finale of the story.
Are you Team Aerith or Team Tifa?
Aerith?
Oh.
I know
But
your
you
dog's
say-
called Tifa.
But you say it out of loyalty, don't you? I was the same. I was like, it has to be Aerith. And she's like, no, but he gets on better with Tifa. And I'm like, I get that.
And obviously Tifa's got the better personality, but I really do like Aerith.
Great personalities.
Glad you picked up on that. Yes.
4K's never looked so fucking good.
Going in Costa del Sol in the Rebirth.
Why is the game paused, Harry? No reason!
Anyway, on that note, let's get on with the film review.
On with the review.
On with the review. This week we're going back to the year 1976 where an unknown Sylvester Stallone starred in the boxing epic Rocky. Rocky is about a small-time boxer who is a debt collector who gets the extremely rare chance to fight the world's heavyweight champion Apollo Creed. It is directed by John Avildsen and was written by the big man Sylvester himself. Aside from Sylvester, it also stars Talia Shire as Adrian, Burt Young as Paulie, and Carl Weathers as Apollo Creed. Rest in peace. It currently sits at 8.1 on IMDb and has won multiple awards since release. The film cost, have a guess, Nathan, how much do you think the film cost?
I'm going to say 2.5 million.
2.5 mil.
So I'm going to go for 1 mil.
1.1 mil.
Ooh, wow.
I was there at the time.
Yeah.
That's actually surprisingly low.
What's more shocking is that it was wrapped up in 28 days.
Wow.
Yeah, from start to finish, done in 28 days. And then it made, how much do you think at the box office? So 1.1 million.
So not the franchise, just this one
Just
film.
Rocky, yeah. Rocky.
To date.
Yeah. Well, when it come out, sorry.
Oh, when it came out, okay. I'm going to say that it made, at the time, maybe about 40 mil.
That's weird because I'm aiming a lot lower. I was going to say like 18.
225 million.
Wow.
Making it a box office phenomenal.
So it was a hit right off the bat.
What was that little boxing pun?
Nice. Just say yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was huge. Absolutely huge. Okay, so I'll hand over to our guest. What did you think of this classic film? Oh, just for the listeners, it's a film that's 40 years old. No spoilers here.
Makes sense.
Spoilers, don't care about them. We're going for it.
Yeah.
We're going full spoiler.
Full spoilers. There will be boxing in this boxing film.
So, this will be the second time I've ever watched this film. I think I was probably maybe at 16 when I watched this, and I really, really enjoyed it back then. I enjoyed the story, and I was always a bit of a boxing fan anyway, so I really did enjoy this. But coming back to it now, I found this a very difficult watch.
Oh,
okay.
There's a lot of things that I'll go into a little bit later, what I didn't like, and a lot of things that bothered me. But there was also a lot of things I liked, mainly Rocky montage and upbeat music is always a winner. But there's even to where throughout the whole film, and I'm pretty sure it was the whole film, Rocky shadow boxing everything. He literally walks just throwing punches.
he's Italian.
It really wowed me up. And I was just like, why? He's just walking down the street.
He's got Tourette's, man.
With his fists.
Constantly
Jesus Christ.
throwing a right hook. And I don't want to point out people's ailments, and if he's got Tourette's, I'm sorry, Rocky, but like, calm it down, man. Just every time, but yeah, I just found it a little bit difficult to just sort of really switch off and enjoy it.
And go. Okay, fair enough. What did you think about it, Stacey?
So I've never seen this film before. And it's one of those films where everyone's like, you've got to watch Rocky. So I was intrigued going into this, also because I knew it was a boxing film. And in case I haven't made this clear enough, I despise all sports. So I was like, apart from chess, obviously, and Wii Sports. But
You can box in Wii Sports.
and now I'm on board. But so I didn't know how I'd feel because I love classic films, but probably not going to enjoy a boxing film. Having watched it, for its time, I can see why it was really good. And I did also take some issues with it that I think will be fun to pick up on. But on the whole, I can see like why it was such a hit of the day. And I really did appreciate Sylvester Stallone. Whenever I've seen him, not knowing where he's come from, and today, I don't really think he's the best actor of today, but he's really good in this film.
Yeah.
Like, he's made for this, and I guess he wrote it, so, fine.
This was his absolute baby. So I'll go into it more in the trivia. But yeah, this was his make or break film. Well, make or break everything. Absolutely everything. He made the clause in the contract that he has to be in it. He wanted to be. It is him. How did you feel about the borderline rape? I'm going to say the consent.
That was. I have a few points on that.
Do you want to come in? No. Are you sure? No. Come on.
Oh,
no.
I'm just going to take my top off and stand here in my vest.
One of my concerns about the film is that at no point is consent for anybody ever a priority.
No, that is true. I think that whole scene in itself is a massive character arch for Adrian. So basically, Adrian is very shy. She has some sort of nervous disposition. She doesn't like talking to Rocky. She doesn't really show that she wants to be around him. But she goes into his apartment anyway. But something that Rocky has, which I'm going to aptly name the Confidence D.
I was going to say Rehypnol.
Rocky has the Confidence D because after that slightly controversial I'm pushing myself upon you moment, she's a completely changed woman after that.
I think what this film is teaching us is that if you just push past the no barrier, you're going to really change that woman's life. Yeah. As we're talking about Adrian, and I always like to talk about the sexism in films, I also found it quite funny because at the start of my notes, I genuinely put, it's quite refreshing to have quite a nerdy female character that he's really interested in. She wears glasses. And I think I pointed to you and was like, oh my God, she's really attractive with glasses on. That never happens in any movies at all. And then bam, she sleeps with Rocky, glasses come off.
Yeah.
She's a changed woman.
Not only confidence, he has vision curing D.
Anyway, so I loved it. I thought it was just as good as I remembered it. I'd not seen it since I was a kid. I grew up watching all the Rocky films because my older brother, he's 11 years older than me, he had all of them on VHS. And I think at that point, Rocky 5, I think, was the newest one. And even as a kid, I'd still watch Rocky 5, even though that is easily the worst. And I was obsessed with it. And I really was interested in seeing how you would find it, because I know it's not your sort of film, and I knew it would take you out of your comfort zone. But I also think it's interesting that...
But then I saw Rocky and I was immediately full of confidence.
And your glasses went off and you got...
20/20 vision.
Yeah, it was insane. Yeah, also I like the fact that it looks like it's going to follow a certain trope where it's an underdog story and he's going to come out on top and he'll be the world champion. And it doesn't follow that path. Like, he doesn't win. His whole goal, he says it's like, I just want to go the distance. Nobody's ever finished a fight with this guy.
He's not got out of 3 rounds with Apollo Creed. No one's ever gone past 3 rounds.
And he took him the whole
15,
way. Yeah. I also appreciate that even though he is big in this film, he's not humongous. Like, could you imagine if this film had been done in today's day and age? It would have been someone with about 28 pack, You know,
Yeah.
delts on delts on delts, arms the size of my head. But this guy was just like a normal dude who was just a bit buff.
Yeah.
And it was just normal. It looks natural.
Goes to the gym 3 times a week. Hits a bag a couple of times.
Drinks
Nothing
beer.
special. Drinks beer.
As a smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smoking
Yeah.
any time he's not shadowboxing down the street. Yeah.
What did you guys think of Mick?
I think he's a prick. I'm not going to mince my words. I only started liking him when he heard how much Rocky was being paid for the fight. Literally turned up at his door the night after and was like, I want to train you, I want to be a manager, just so I get a cut of the money, basically.
My first note on Mick is a snake.
Yeah, literally. Absolute snake.
I felt really conflicted at that moment when he comes to him to say, can I train you for the fight? Because on one hand, I completely agree that he's taken advantage of him. He wants to get in on the cash. But on the other hand, he's given his sob story about, you know, how he's hurtling towards retirement and he's always been there for him and stuff. And I just know in that moment, the people pleaser in me would have gone, yeah. Man.
But Mick's relationship with Rocky grows as the films go. He is his trainer
Oh, okay.
until he dies.
I really like the aesthetics of this film.
Grubby.
His flat. Again, I love what they're trying to represent with the, you know, the grubbiness and the disrepair and stuff. And he's clearly, you know, a bit down and out. And that's why this fight is so important to him.
I kind of found like his apartment's like his cell.
Yeah.
It's like his prison.
essentially.
It was basically like a prison cell. Just a
Essentially.
grubby old mattress and a shitty bed in the corner.
And Adrian thought, yeah, I'll have a bit of that.
Yeah.
But some of it is so unnecessary. Like, just clean up after yourself, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, take this knife out of this mattress.
Yeah.
Why is that there? Why the fuck's it there?
That's what I imagine is like in your room.
Yeah. I've just got
Ready to go.
a lot more stained mattresses.
One is not enough.
And why is he throwing darts into the door as well? It's just like unnecessary. Like
His landlord fucking hates him.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
They took it to the extreme where it was a little bit ridiculous, but I get the point they were trying to make.
How did the montage get you? Did the music, when it's swelling and the adrenaline's pumping and he's doing the training, did it get you invested? Was you like, Rocky's going to fuck him up? Or was you like, oh, when's this going to go and finish?
You're not going to like this.
It's the second one, isn't it?
It didn't get me going as much as
Why are
it
you
did
dead on the inside? Why is this a thing?
I think because...
Why did I marry you?
I think because the whole of the start of the film, you were going, oh, I can't wait for the montage. And so I was like, okay, this is going to be like the best thing I've ever seen. Oh, it's okay. And also because I would have really appreciated it had they done a cleaning montage of his flat when Adrian moved in.
Kim and Aggie.
Mopping the floor. Pulling his knife out.
Yeah, you've got
Put it back for safety reasons.
you've got him running up the steps, and you've got her with a mop on the floor. Yeah.
Mr. Pledge on the mirror.
Yeah, I would have appreciated that, but a little bit more, I think.
See, those montages is what I think the pinnacle of Rocky is.
I think
Like,
every film has one as well.
Every single one, and each one gets better and better. And I'm gonna take you on a little journey here through what these montages did to me as a child when I saw, or 16-year-old when I saw it. So basically, I saw the Rocky films, and I was like, I'm gonna be a boxer. I'm gonna be a boxer. I'm gonna grow up to be a boxer. I'm gonna be the best boxer there is.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, montage in my head for about however long I wanted this.
Unfortunately, you grew up to be 5'6".
And I am 5'6". Rather than doing anything but training, going to the gym, eating well, learning to box, all I did was eat, not grow taller, get fatter, draw all my gear, the shorts, the boots, the robe, and everything. And that's literally all I did in my dream of becoming a boxer. And that was my montage.
How's it working for you so far?
Fantastic. I'm still fat, can't draw.
The doctors are worried.
Probably diabetes.
Do you reckon it came out with subtitles on when it originally released?
Because
Because
of
of
his...
how well Sly talks.
No, because I thought he sounded less slurry in this
Yeah,
film.
I think he was quite clear in most of the stuff
I think-
like in this film anyway, at least.
He's just got a very
Before the Botox got him.
Italian-American accent, and I think it's difficult, maybe more difficult for us to hear it as as British people, because there are some Americans, and sorry to our American listeners here, but that I cannot understand. Like if you watch a Matthew McConaughey film and he's a bit too southern and drooly, I have no idea what he's saying. It's probably a bit like the Americans that listen to like people from Newcastle or Liverpool. Like what? I have no idea what he's saying. But I thought I could understand him in this. I thought it was fine.
Fair play.
Yeah.
I did find some of his, when he's walking little Marie home and he's giving this whole speech, I found like myself tuning out a little bit because it just goes on for so long. He's just waffling. He's just basically stop doing drugs, do better, don't drink, be the best person you can be. But he says it in about 40 different ways, all just walk up to a step. And it's just like some of the dialogue scenes I found were a bit like, this is still going on. And I think that most of them were shot in 1 or 2 takes or something like that. They didn't, it was pretty spot on with them, but I found them a bit like dragged.
Well, they didn't have the money or the time to do reshoots, you know. It was kind of like, well, that's that done.
Yeah.
Good enough. Yeah. How did you find, so the main point of the film, the boxing, how did you find the fight?
I hated it.
You hated it? That's a harsh word. Is it because he blocks with his face?
They don't block.
Yeah.
No, I don't like. Hate is a strong word, but obviously it's not real boxing. I know it's not real boxing, but some of the camera shots where he quite clearly whiffs a punch and he's meant to act like he's been hit, you can just quite clearly see that he's not punching him, and that takes you out of the illusion that they're actually boxing. And it happens quite often, more often than you think.
It was satisfying though when in the first round he smacks him down, doesn't he? Gets him with an uppercut.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh my God, he's floored him. And I do like the fact the trainer goes to Creed is like, you've signed up for an exhibition, he's signed up to fight. It's like, you need to fucking go in there and show him who's boss, because if you go in there with a bad attitude, you're going to lose.
Yeah.
And Rocky's gone in there to be like, I'm gonna take you down.
The story of the fight's really good.
Well, yeah, because you got from one corner, it's meant to be a joke, wasn't it? It was meant to be, I'll knock him down in the third, and we'll have a lovely paycheck, and I'll be known as the people's champion because I gave someone a chance. And for Rocky, it was 5 minutes of fame.
He picked Rocky out of a phone book, though, didn't he? He literally
I don't think Sylvester Stallone's character's called the Italian Stallion.
Hang on, he sounds like a boxer. Let's get him on board.
Either that or he's really hung. Either way.
No.
I've got a problem with my eyesight. Can you help me out? Sleep review, you say? And yourself?
It was. I didn't think it was as bad as you did, but because I don't watch boxing, so I've nothing to compare it to, and I find it difficult watching boxing. I don't really know what's going on, kind of thing. Yeah. One of the things I loved about the film is that the continuity on his injuries maintains throughout. So he gets his eye split open, I think, at the start of the film.
Yeah.
And you see that gradually heal as the film went on, which makes sense if they shot it in like 28 days, because I imagine that's quite easy to keep on top of.
Yeah. They do get risky, I gotta say. So in Rocky 4, what's the main...
Dolph Lundgren.
Yes. He actually sparked Sylvester Stallone out, put him in hospital.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Gave him concussion. Apollo Creed's trainer, is it Tony? Is that his name?
I
can't remember. But he says basically like, we're stopping this fight.
Yeah.
And you're just like, whoa, hang on.
I'm the world champion.
He's literally the world champion. Like, yeah.
I didn't really care about his character right up until the end fight, to be honest with you. And then I really appreciated the differences between them. Like his poster was really big and grand, and Rocky's was like, barely put together and nothing like him. And and when he gets into the ring, he clearly doesn't give a shit. He's piss taking a lot of the time. And
it's basically Muhammad Ali.
The first round, before he gets knocked on his arse, he is treating it as a sparring match. He's like, woohoo, look at me, I'm the best.
Mm-hmm. I didn't quite understand the ending.
What?
It did, that's what I thought. It cut a little bit.
Yeah.
I thought there was a bit, I remember there being more to the end of that film than just, it's a draw.
He screamed out Adrian, what more do you want?
No, I've got that, and men do cry, and I'm not going to lie, I've got a bit emotional.
That doesn't work with any other name, though, I think, if you were trying... Adrian! Ben Sheridan! Where are you? I don't know, it just felt kind of a bit short and rushed, and if I remember right, you don't even see you just see her get to him maybe, and then
That is the end shot.
They embrace, and then that's it. That's the credits.
But it's kind of like I just needed like a little bit more.
He's definitely pleased.
Oh yeah, he says it.
Because he says he wants to go the distance. He doesn't care if he wins or loses. He just wants to get to that 15th round.
That's what I also love, is that he acknowledges that he's the underdog.
Yeah,
At no point is he giving it the big I'm going to take him down. He's like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, I'm fighting the best fighter in the world. Like, he's here and I am at the bottom. He has no chance. He knows he has no chance of winning.
In every interview he has, he's just like, I just want to do the best I can.
Yeah.
That's it. There's literally no suggestion that he's ever going to win.
So I think we need to talk about the brother, Adrian's brother.
Yeah, Paulie.
Yeah, because he's unhinged.
He has alcohol issues. Yeah, I agree.
But like, I get why he's friends with Rocky, because Rocky's a bit stupid and maybe he's his only friend. But I think Paulie's actually a bit of a psychopath.
Also a good friend to have around. Rocky's a fucking boxer, debt collector. It's a good guy to be friends with.
I think Paulie helped train him originally. He punched him one too many times in the head. He knew what he was doing. And then the absolute peak was when poor Adrian is trying to cook Thanksgiving dinner. And he
Yeets a turkey out the back door.
like, why? Don't waste a whole fucking turkey.
I love the fact that he just has the leg. And he's like, yeah, hungry rock. And he's just chewing on it like a madman. I'm like, God, could you imagine if you had more turkey? Like, if you didn't just launch it out the window?
Absolutely yeets it.
He's so abusive to Adrian.
Yeah, I would say that's probably a good
And he never says
analogy.
anything nice about her either. He's like, I don't get why you want to be with my sister. She's fucking shit, mate.
I barely find her attractive.
Yeah, see this turkey she cooked? Fucking dog meat.
But he just, like, Paulie's constantly asking Rocky, like, are you porking my sister? I'm like, are you doing my sister?
Again, he goes into the pet shop every day, says something to Adrian, who doesn't even respond sometimes, and leaves. Never gets the hint.
No.
And where did that get him?
Well,
She took her glasses off.
yeah. And they're now married, I imagine.
Okay, so does it get Nan approval?
No.
Ooh, controversial.
Just because, looking back at older films now, I can see why it blew up and was successful as it was, but just some of the things, from a personal point of view, some of the things in the film really annoyed me.
Is this because you didn't make it as a boxer?
I'm never going to forget it.
Are you just venting?
Yes,
It's not
I am.
Rocky's fault, it's your fault.
No, it is my fault. I don't now approve myself.
Put that knife down there.
Stop killing! You won't be a boxer!
You?
You know what? I am going to not approve this film. I see why it's a classic now. I probably would watch it again at some point. I'm not sure if I want to watch the others in the series. I'm kind of curious to watch the second one. But no, I see why it's a classic. He's great in it. This role was made for him, and I think it's worth just watching for his performance.
Fair enough.
So you get the deciding vote.
I mean, I picked this film, so you can probably guess which way it's going to go.
No.
No, I hate it. No, I loved it. It was exactly how I remembered it. I still got the buzz when I was listening to the montage music, and I still got the buzz in the fight. And yeah, he was excellent in it, and it spawned a big franchise, which I adore. So yeah, overall, would recommend it.
Hit me up with some trivia.
Yeah, got some trivia. During the main fight, as the camera's panning around, you can blatantly see the stadium's actually empty.
Oh.
And that's because they only had enough money for 50 extras. So they had placed them in a certain point. But when the camera pans round, yeah, it's actually empty.
I didn't even notice.
No. So this is a big one, but I feel it's the most interesting. So after producers Erwin Winkler and Robert Shartoff become interested in...
Shartoff.
I'm going to say it as Chartoff. I'm going to go again because Shartoff sounds ridiculous.
No, keep it as it is.
All right, we're keeping it.
Spelled C-H-A-R-T.
It is, yeah.
Why have you said shark?
I don't know. Right. Once Shartoff, and I'm sticking with it, become interested in the script, they offered Sylvester Stallone. Oh, God.
Shut up! Absolutely fantastic stuff.
Why have you got shot?
Look, mate, you of all people can't criticise how people say stuff. They offered Sylvester Stallone an unprecedented $350,000 for the rights. He had $106 in the bank, no car, and was trying to sell his dog because he couldn't afford to feed him. But he refused to sell unless they agreed to allow him to star in the film. They agreed.
He refused to sell his dog.
The rights to the film. Hopefully also the dog. Well, he must have the dog because the dog in the film is his dog.
Yeah.
They agreed on the condition that Stallone continued to work as a writer without a fee and that he works as an actor for scale. After Winkler and Shartoff purchased the film, they took it to United Artists, who envisioned a budget of $2 million with an established star, particularly Robert Redford, Ryan O'Neal, Burt Reynolds, Nick Nolte or James Caan. When Winkler and Shartoff told United Artists they could only get the screenplay if Stallone starred, United Artists cut the budget in half, so they had $1 million, and had Shartoff and Winkler sign agreements that they would be personally liable if the film went over budget. The final cost was $1.1 million, so obviously $100,000 over. They had to remortgage their houses for the last $100,000. That's how close it was to not being made.
I just think that when the studio heard that a pair called Winkler and Shartoff...
I need that cop show. Shartoff and Winkler.
Yeah, when they heard that pair of jokers were involved, they were like, am
I being
not sure.
punked? Is that a thing yet?
Yeah. Stop trying to scam me, Winkler and Shartoff. Wow, okay, but I mean, they must have made their money back tenfold, and
well, they did all right, yeah. Did all right.
What was the actual? It was like 200 million.
Yeah, 220, I think. Yeah.
How much would you rub that in their face?
I think it either held the record or holds the record for the biggest percentage jump in a film.
Oh, okay.
It's insane. So Sylvester Stallone insisted that the scene where he admits his fears and doubts to Adrian the night before the fight to be filmed, even though production was running far behind and the producers wanted to skip it, Stallone had only one take for the scene, even though he considered it to be the most important scene in the film.
I think you need that scene in that film.
Makes him human.
You literally need that scene.
He did it in one.
Wow.
He wrote the script for the film in 3 days while staying in a hotel room.
Which I think you can believe, given what you were saying earlier. I think if you read some of the dialogue, it wouldn't be, Shakespeare.
Because quite a lot you said was ad-libbed. Like, some of it was just like especially that Mickey scene.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't write that. He just said it.
It won 3 Academy Awards, including Best Picture and Best Original Screenplay.
Wow.
And was the first ever sports movie to win an Oscar for Best Picture.
Wow, did it? Okay.
Yeah.
Sly was nominated, wasn't he? But he didn't win.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think he was nominated for Best Actor. But obviously, I don't think he won that.
I can't believe he didn't win that, but it won Best Screenplay, given what we were just saying.
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense, does it?
A funny little note to put. In the film, when we was talking about the posters, we've got Creed, which is all la-di-da, and the other one is Rocky, and he goes, why have I got the...
shorts the wrong colour,
yeah. That was genuine. So the artist who created the poster for the first Rocky movie painted the shorts red with white stripes instead of white with red. This mistake was not corrected because the studio could not afford to do so.
Oh wow! So they just made it a scene. Oh, cool.
That really
How
works.
funny is that?
That really works.
And I didn't know this, but the Rocky character is based on Chuck Wepner, a real-life boxer who went 15 rounds with Muhammad Ali, which backs up your theory that the opening round is Muhammad Ali dancing around.
Well, the fact that Joe Frazier comes into the ring, Muhammad Ali's ultimate opponent, and
he's like, you're ducking me,
I'll have you. Yeah, it just literally, that is the biggest nod to Muhammad Ali.
Apart from that, all good. Is that a wrap?
Yeah, I think so.
Exactly.
Okay, well, thanks Nathan for hanging out with us this week.
Thank you.
The whole week.
The whole
week.
We'll let
Can I go home now?
This is how dedicated.
We'll let you go now. We'll give you the key.
And kill.
Maybe we'll make a quick phone call. So we've been Nerds Against Normality. Thanks for hanging with us, and catch all of our latest episodes every Wednesday wherever you get your podcast from. Please follow, rate, like us on social media for more exclusive content. And if you have a question or something you want us to review, please email us at nerdsagainstnormalitypod@outlook.com. Thanks for listening.
See you later.
Bye.